susto. Eu vou mostrar para vocês.
So,
Do you need Mr. Thiago Jardim, please?
thank you.
How would you like to do?
So, I'd like to thank the president of the Belo Horizonte Public Chamber, Gabriel Azevedo, the founder of Caos Planejado, Anthony Lin, and P7 Criativo for hosting the event, and of course, our Indiana Jones, Alain Bertaud. Thanks also to our supporters, the Association of Architects, the Association of Economists, and the Council of Engineers of Minas Gerais State. The subject of urban development is important to us all, and it's great to have you all participating here. Why cities are important? According to Bertaud's friend, economist Edward Glaser, professor and chairman of the economics department at Harvard University, with PhD from the University of Chicago, cities make us richer, smarter, greener, healthier, and happier. According to another friend of Alain Bertaud, economist Paul Romer, professor at the New York University and co-recipient of the 2018 Nobel Prize for his contribution in economic growth theory, for every increase in 1% in the urbanization of a country, on average, GDP per capita increases 2%. Can I be your friend, Alain Bertaud? So, that's the first stage of economic development, the transition from rural to urban and the building of cities. The second stage of development is the intra-urban development, the productivity enhancement related to the city dynamics, related to density and transit, mobility and entrepreneurship, scale economics and competition, human capital acquisition. What Bertaud tells us is an affirmation of Adam Smith, von Mises, and Hayek, their economic thesis that the pricing mechanisms of markets, which signals a decentralized decision-making process, are much more efficient in promoting welfare than a centralized planning. So if urban planners don't understand the markets, they will end up distorting the market pricing system and promoting a dysfunctional city that doesn't fully benefit from markets. The title Order Without Design resembles the invisible hand of Adam Smith or von Mises' planned chaos, which is also the name used by Anthony Lin. Unfortunately, in Brazil, the thoughts of Karl Marx are much more widely acknowledged than the thoughts of Smith, von Mises, and Hayek. Despite benefiting from the market economy and democracy, most people don't even know who they are. So I came across Bertaud's work while writing a thesis in economics. After being in Chicago, Paris, and other cities, I perceived something strange was happening in Belo Horizonte, and Bertaud's thesis fits like a glove. Different from Chicago, which is more than 200 years old and has a well-functioning CBD, Belo Horizonte's core was falling apart, depreciating, and real estate development was spreading to new areas and adjacent cities. Transit is chaotic, and there were no buildings taller than 120 meters, except the Concordia, which was built outside the city. By some reason, the density gradient was flattening, the labor force was fragmenting, and new business districts were surging in detriment of the old. Suddenly, I understood that what was going on. Restrictive land use regulation by urban planners. The assignment of very low floor area ratio in the CBD and elsewhere. The government simply did not allow the market to supply floor space where it was optimal, demanded, or necessary according to economic theories. Now, more than 30,000 people live in Nova Lima, in a valley near the protected Sierra do Curral, with a land use pattern unseen in the world except perhaps in Hong Kong. Why did planners do that? Because they think freedom is a bad thing. If you study political and economic history, freedom is what distinguishes modern societies from socialist, medieval, and ancient ones. But since 1996 and more so now, our land use regulations have been deliberately made to change the market order. By placing a basic FSI of 1.0, the idea is to equalize the treatment among property owners and developers. In a press conference with the former mayor Alexandre Calil in 2018, the president of the State Institute of Brazilian Architects, Dorinha Varenga, said that no one could build more than anyone else. Can you believe that? But if someone wants to build more up to a maximum of 5 today, those rights must be acquired from the government. The payment for construction rights is considered by the jurist as José Afonso da Silva a way to recover the surplus value from the appreciation of land values, which would be privately appropriated otherwise. What a bad thing. I learned much with Alain Bertaud, especially the differences in urban spatial structures that arise in cities with non-market-oriented policies and their inefficiencies. After calculating the density gradient of cities in Brazil, I can assure you that urban planning here can be qualified as non-market-oriented planning. Right in the second page of chapter 1 of his book, Bertaud says, "We are facing a strangely paradoxical situation in the way cities are managed. The professionals in charge of modifying market outcomes through regulations, the urban planners, know very little about markets. And the professionals who understand markets, the urban economists, are seldom involved in the design of regulations aimed at restraining these markets. It is not surprising that the lack of interaction between the two professions causes serious dysfunction in the development of cities. It is the story of the blind and the paralytic going their own ways. The planners are blind, they act without seeing. The economists are paralyzed, they see but do not act. I'm glad to say to those who are here, you're no longer blind nor paralyzed. So let us act." Thank you.